All right. So what we do now, right, is this. If you are using the sine rule, how will you write it? Anybody want to attempt it? How will I write the cosine rule? How will I write it up? We're using which two angles? Which two angles are we using here? Which two angles are we using? We're using Q and what?
T.
Q and T. So I'm going to write T over sine T is equal to Q over sine Q. Now, so remember that you focus on the angles you are using, right? The matching pair angle and the angle, whatever you look, the side or the angle you are looking for, you bring that one, match that one up. So my T here would have been 10.8 over sine T, which I'm looking for, is equal to my Q, which is 13 over sine 40. Now, so I'll come here now, I will say that the 10.8 over sine T is equal to 13. Now, can you give me what is sine 40 degrees, please? What is sine 40 degrees?
0.643.
0.643. Then what I'll do next, I'll cross multiply, right? So I'm going to cross multiply here now. So I cross multiply. When I cross multiply, I'm going to get 10.8 times 0.643 is equal to 13 times sine T. Now, we multiply these two here, right? You multiply these two here, 10.8 times 0.4643. What do we get?
6.94.
6.94 is equal to 13 times sine T. Now I want to find what is sine T. So we move this one to so be 6.94 divided by 13. Am I right? It's equal to sine T. Now what will I do next?
Uh, 0.533.
0.533 is equal to sine T. Right. So angle T is equal to sine inverse of 0.533. So if we want to find an angle now, you have to press shift sine, right? Shift and what? Sine, right? Then work it out. Tell me what you get, please.
32.2.
32.2 degrees, right? So you get to a 32.2 degrees. We clear? So you get 32.2 degrees, right? 32.2 degrees. Any questions so far? No. Feel free to ask questions. Remember, we don't have much time now, so you keep quiet, we just move on. And
sir, why did you put the sine inverse 0.533?
Because if you want to find the angle, right, you always have to use the shift. You have a calculator?
Sir, don't have any battery.
Oh, no, because if you leave it right here, you lose marks because you don't find the angle. This is not the angle, no. This is the 0.533 is not the angle. So for you to find the angle, you have to say shift sine of 0.33 to get the angle itself.
Oh, okay, sir.
Mm-hmm. So try and get a calculator as soon as possible, though, because trust me, Or if you can use your phone, no, you have a phone with you, go on your phone and can use the calculator on your phone. I think it has the functions too. For the meantime. Next. I've been asked to find the area. How do I find the area? So we did number 1, right? This is number 2. Yes, we are doing number 3 here. Area QRS. Those of you who are here at the beginning of the class, I gave you the format to find the area. When you have given side, angle, side, you want to find the area. Which format will I use?
Sir, half times A
Half times A times what?
times
B times the sine of the angle.
times
Right? So whenever you are giving side, angle, what? Side. You are giving side, angle, side, and it asks you to find the area. You can always use the sine formula, right, for area. So this give me half times A. You can name this side A. You name the A as A, and the 12 as B. Anyone you want, that's fine. They can switch around 12 and 9, 12, right? So put 9 times 12 times the sine of what? Sine 60 degrees, right? So 2 goes to 1 time, 2 goes to 12, 6 times. Now, so I'm left with 9 times 6. What is sine 60, please? Anybody can help me? What is sine 60 degrees? What do I get for sine 60?
0.866.
0.866. Now, we multiply 9 times 6 times 0.866 and tell me what you get, please. Can somebody multiply everything and tell me what you get?
46.764.
41.
46.764.
Okay, degrees, right? No, centimeter. Well, they want the answer to 1 decimal place. So what will I get? 46.8. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Centimeter square. We cool? Right. So far, so good. Am I right? Everybody clear so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we are going to look at the 2012 one now. All right. So let's go to 2012. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to the 2012 one, right? I'm going to reschedule this in here, draw it. It was like this. Then we have another one going this way, am I right? Okay, more or less something like this. Then this side is Q. This is R. This is S. This is 48 degrees. This is 60 degrees. 8, 10, and 7. Calculate I, the length of RS, right? Second question, the measure of angle QTS. All right. So let's go. At least I want to cover two things before we get a break, right? I want to cover sine rule, cosine rule, and bearings before you get a break. Okay, so I'm trying to do 4 items. So let's see how it goes. But you have to help me so that you can move a little bit, you know. By the way, what time is for break? 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock? Right, so what you do here now, right? Then we have what? S is 8 squared minus 2 times 10 times 8 cos of angle T. 49, 164 minus this, then this give me 20, 160. Am I right? Okay, check it and see if we're good so far up to this point.
Sir, it is correct.
Okay, then we are going to have 49 is equal to, we add this one, give me 164 minus 160 cos T. Now just remember that for the cosine rule, it allows you to find a side and it also allows you to find the angle. And this is one of the conditions. If you want to find the angle, that's how it works, right? You put all the information finding the angle, right? So this gives me 49 minus 164 is equal to negative 160 cos T. 49 minus 164, what do we get?
Negative 150.
Negative 1 by what?
15.
It's got to negative 160 cos t. Then we bring this one down, should be negative 115 divided by negative 160 cos t. Then the two decimal cancel, right? So 115 divided by 160, what do we get? One hundred 15 divided by 160, what do we get?
0.719.
0.719 is equal to cos t. So angle t is equal to cos inverse of 0.719, right? So angle t now, let's work it out and see what we get.
Sir,
44,
79.
Come again.
44.028, and you run it off, you get 44.03.
Degrees, right? The first one is in meters, centimeters. So the first example teaches how to find, you see the sine rule and the cosine rule, finding the side, then the angle. And this one is of reverse, right? So that's why I chose those two, because it teaches you, the first one will teach you how to find the angle using the cosine rule, and how to find the side using the cosine rule. And the same thing happens, right? So we're good to go. Any questions so far?
Sir, for the answer, my phone is telling me 44.028.
Okay, 44.028. Okay, run it off at the earlier stages. Okay, don't worry, because it depends on how they run it off, all right? But I think if anybody marking the paper you wrote that, they still give it to you. Because they have run it off earlier, or maybe you never ran it off, but it's okay. You got 44 though, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you're good then. 44.2, so you're good. That's fine. Do me a favor. On your phone, put in sine 90 and tell me what you get.
Repeat.
On your phone, just put in sine 90 degrees and tell me what you get. Sine 90. I want to see if it's in degrees. Sine 90.
I'm seeing 1.
Okay, you're in the right mode then. You don't have to worry. Yeah, man, you're good. So once you are checking whether your phone or your calculator and you are working, do anything about trigonometry ratio or sine rule, cosine rule, you have to make sure that your calculator is always in degree mode, right? If it's not, you are going to get some way answers. Okay, so if you don't have any question now, we can jump on the sheet now to bearings. Can we do that now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So let's go to bearings now. So this is where a lot of chaos now. Before we do bearings, right, there are some things we need to know first of all. Rule number 1, we have to be familiar with angles. So for bearings, right, bearings, right, we don't have time, so I'm not going to this here. For bearings, one of the things we have to do is this, right? We have to know like when you're angles on a straight line, right? If this angle here is 120 degrees. What will be this angle here? I'm going through some concept we need before going to the bearings. If this side is 120 degrees, right? And I want to find this angle, what will be this angle here?
120.
Come again?
120 degrees.
No, sir.
So 60.
60. Why 60?
Because angles on a straight line equal to 180.
Because,
So you have
angles on a straight line add up to what?
180.
180 degrees. So if here is 120, you'll be what? 60. All right. So this is one thing we have to know now. Now, if I give you two parallel lines, right? I give it like this. And this is what you are going to use most in bearings, all right? Oops. All right, I have to come out of this, stop share this. We're going to our chambers, right? So, and I give you something like this. Right. So what happens here? These two lines are parallel, right? And this one here, we call it these are parallel lines. Parallel lines, right? Then this one we call it transversal line. Transversal line. One of the things you guys are going to need most in doing bearing question, which you have to apply this geometry thing, is that we are going to apply what we call alternate angles, right? If this side is A, you're going to be A, right? So alternate angles, they are always the same. So we call this one alternate angles, right? So you're going to need what we call alternate angles. Alternate angles. Is anybody here who is not familiar with alternate angles? Like the Z angles, sometimes we call it Z angles, right? Then the next thing I want you to focus here is what we call co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles add up to 180. So if let's say this is A and this is B, when you add A and B, when you add the A and the B, A and B should give you 180 degrees. And if you that, here is going to be B, right? So when you add up these two, you should also get to 180. So what am I saying here? Angles between two parallel lines, we call them co-interior angles. Co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees, right? Co-interior angle add up to 180 degrees. Any question? Any question? Okay, if there are no questions, let's jump into later session on bearing now, right? So the question is, what is bearings, right? What is bearings? So I'm going to type what is bearings, right? Then we'll take it step by step. Bearings is the position of an object relative to another object right now. So anybody can tell me which professions use bearings in everyday life?
There are pilots.
Pilots, yes. We saw your pilots. Who else?
Sailors.
Sailors, yes. Do you know drivers use bearings too? When you go to Google Map, what do you think you do? When you are on Google Map, you are driving and you put on a Google Map, you use bearings, right? It directs you exactly from where you are to relative to wherever you are, whether you have north, south, east, wherever, right? So in bearings, to make it easier for everybody, right? So in bearings, first of all, we have the 4 cardinal points like this, right? This is kind of long, but I'll try and make it as short as possible. So we have this and we have that, all right? So this one is the north. This is the north. This is the what? What would that be here? East, right? West. Then what? South. So this side is 0, 90 degrees, 0, 90. This one is what? 180 degrees. This side is 270 degrees. Now, when it comes to bearings, right? You start from you start reading from the North Pole. Read from the North Pole, right? That's we always start reading from the North Pole, right? Then you read it anti-clockwise. You read it. No, you read at clockwise direction, right? Read at what? Clockwise what? Clockwise direction. Clockwise direction. So that means you have to start from here. You always start from the north and you go. You can't go backwards. You have to go this way. You start from the North Pole. You read clockwise direction, and always it should be in 3 digits, right? Figures should be what? The figures should be